2 minutes left, Archangel Michael says, a letter about your inheritance is arriving. You won't believe who sent it. Open immediately. My beloved child, the air around you just shifted, quiet, heavy, almost whispering your name like it knows something you don't. Today is not a regular day, because Archangel Michael has stepped forward with urgency, pointing toward a sealed envelope traveling in your direction, an envelope carrying a truth you were never meant to find this late. Someone, somewhere, broke the silence, and the universe finally allowed this message to surface. Rising winds are already circling your destiny, and they're not subtle anymore, because this letter is not about apologies, memories, or unfinished conversations. It's about inheritance, a financial, emotional, and ancestral inheritance that was hidden, protected, and guarded for years. Michael says the timing is divine because if it had arrived earlier, you wouldn't have been ready to carry its power. Someone delayed it, yet they couldn't stop what was written for you before you were even born. Another strange thing is happening. Your name has been mentioned in rooms you've never entered, discussed by people you've never met, and signed onto documents you've never touched. Archangel Michael reveals that the sender isn't a lawyer, banker, or relative. It's someone whose existence alone would shake your heart. Someone who once watched you from a distance and never expected you to rise this high, this fast, this beautifully, yet now they're surrendering everything they held back. Unseen forces have been tracking this moment, ensuring it doesn't get intercepted or redirected, because this inheritance doesn't just include material wealth, it includes answers, closure, truths, and keys to doors you didn't even know were locked. Michael says you're about to discover why certain people avoided you, why some suddenly disappeared, and why fate kept pushing you forward even when you were exhausted. It was never rejection, it was protection for this exact moment. A quiet storm of revelation is moving toward you, and the sender of this inheritance is someone you would have never imagined, a name that once felt distant, unreachable, almost unreal, yet deeply connected to your journey. Michael wants you to breathe, stay still, and prepare, because once this letter arrives, nothing about your life story will remain the same. Your understanding of who you are, and who stood behind you all along, is about to transform forever. A sudden hush surrounds your energy now, like the universe just dimmed every unnecessary noise so you can finally hear the truth approaching you, because Archangel Michael insists the letter isn't traveling alone. It carries karmic signatures, old promises, and protected destiny codes, sealed by someone who once feared your power, yet now urgently wants you to claim what was always yours. Stay with me, because this is the moment your story turns in a direction nobody predicted, especially the ones who tried to write you out of it. A golden thread is forming between you and the sender, vibrating with a familiar emotional frequency, the kind that once kept you awake at night without knowing why. Michael says this inheritance isn't random, it's the universe correcting a delay, a betrayal, a silent theft that occurred long ago. Someone stepped forward, confessed, and demanded that justice be delivered with your name bold, centered, undeniable. This is bigger than money, property, or documents. This is restoration, recognition, and remembrance. What's shocking is that this letter wasn't supposed to reach you yet, it was scheduled for much later, maybe even years from now. But life events accelerated, divine timing shifted, and the sender realized they couldn't hold the truth any longer. They've been watching you grow, survive, rebuild, and rise, and now, finally, they believe you're ready to know how important you truly are. Michael reveals they've carried this burden like a secret flame, terrified of both losing you and being exposed. Whispers around your destiny are getting louder, and people who once dismissed you are suddenly curious, nervous, unsettled. And they should be. Because when this letter arrives, it will expose who protected you, who sabotaged you, and who silently prayed for your victory when no one else did. The sender is not just connected to your past, they are becoming the bridge to your future, unlocking opportunities that were paused, hidden, or strategically withheld. So remain right here, don't scroll away, breathe into this unfolding moment. Because Michael is guiding this letter through invisible hands, ensuring it arrives safely, completely, and at the perfect second. And when you finally read the name signed at the bottom, your knees may weaken, your heart may race, and your entire understanding of destiny will shift, because the sender is someone you never imagined would fight this hard to return what belongs to you. A trembling echo moves through your timeline now, as if every silent moment of your past just stood up and demanded to be acknowledged, because Archangel Michael says the letter has already crossed the final barrier, leaving no room for interference. Someone once swore this truth would never find you, yet destiny overruled them with breathtaking precision. The universe didn't forget you. It was gathering every missing piece so the reveal would hit with maximum clarity, maximum impact, maximum justice. Behind closed doors, the sender has been replaying every memory involving you, moments where they could have stepped in but didn't, moments where they should have protected you but stayed silent, moments where destiny showed them your worth long before the world ever did. Michael confirms they've been living with this guilt, this responsibility, this unspoken promise, and now they're ready to honor it in a way so grand, so irreversible, it will change how you walk into every room from this day forward. This inheritance is their apology, their confession, and their final act of courage. Somewhere far from you, yet spiritually closer than your own breath. Documents are being reviewed, signatures are being verified, and old paperwork is being pulled out of hidden drawers. People who believed they had power over your story are now realizing they've lost control, because the universe just stepped in as your witness. Michael says someone underestimated how protected you truly are, and now they're watching destiny return everything they tried to block, with interest, amplification, and poetic timing. You may begin noticing signs. Repeating initials, unexpected calls, sudden intuition, or the strange feeling that someone is preparing for your arrival. These are not coincidences, they are the energetic footsteps of the inheritance making its way toward you. Michael explains that the sender is experiencing sleepless nights, racing thoughts, and overwhelming urgency, not out of fear, but because they know delaying any longer would be a spiritual crime. They've chosen truth over comfort, transparency over secrecy, and you over their own pride. The universe is positioning you for a reveal so powerful it will silence doubt, confusion, and every narrative created against you. And when that sealed envelope reaches your hands, you won't just read it, you will feel it vibrating with divine validation, with ancestral protection, with the weight of everything you survived. Michael wants you to prepare your heart, because the identity of the sender will not just shock you, it will rewrite the entire meaning of your journey, your relationships, and your purpose. A quiet vibration moves beneath your reality now, almost like the ground itself recognizes what's coming, because Archangel Michael reveals the envelope has entered a protected spiritual corridor, guarded from jealousy, interference, and old karmic shadows. For years, Someone believed they succeeded in burying this truth, but destiny just reached down and dug it back up, polished, documented, and ready for your hands. The universe is not just sending you a letter, it's sending closure wearing legal ink. Far away, a person sits with trembling fingers, rereading every line they wrote to you, terrified and relieved at the same time. Michael says they practiced saying your name out loud after years of avoiding it, because they finally understand who you were meant to be, not small, not forgotten, not replaceable, but chosen, destined, irrefutable. Their heartbeat carries your name like an overdue confession, and this letter is the moment they stop running from the truth. They know once you read it, everything between you becomes undeniable. Behind the scenes, spiritual forces are rearranging timelines, redirecting events, and silencing anyone who tries to block what's coming. Michael confirms that doors are opening without you knocking, opportunities are aligning without effort, and pathways are clearing like they've been waiting for your arrival. This inheritance was delayed because the sender needed to transform first, to recognize your worth, your resilience, your divine significance. Now, they see you clearly, and they're ready to deliver what was always meant to be yours. The emotional weight inside that envelope isn't ordinary. There are stories, confessions, memories, signed decisions, and truths no one ever expected to reach you. Michael says the sender has carried this burden like a locked vault inside their chest, and releasing it feels like exhaling after holding their breath for years. They know this letter may shock you, soften you, or even break you open. But it will also free you, elevate you, and finally give you the recognition destiny owed you. A monumental reveal stands inches away from your timeline, waiting for the perfect second to collide with your life. Michael insists that when you see the sender's name, time will freeze, not because it's unfamiliar, but because it's someone whose presence shaped your story more than you ever realized. And once that truth unfolds, your identity, your relationships, and your future will expand beyond anything you've ever imagined, because this inheritance isn't just arriving, it's arriving with purpose, with love, and with unstoppable divine authority. A strange magnetic pull surrounds your destiny now, like invisible hands guiding you toward a moment that has already been written. Because Archangel Michael confirms the envelope is no longer just moving toward you physically, it's aligning with your spirit. The universe is rehearsing the reveal in silence, preparing your emotions, clearing your path, and removing anyone who might distort the truth. Everything that once felt delayed, denied, or disconnected is suddenly finding its way back to you with unstoppable force, like justice returning home. Somewhere, the sender is pacing, heart pounding, mind racing. Because they know this inheritance will expose their hidden loyalty to you. Michael reveals they once protected you without ever admitting it, shielding you from decisions, people, and consequences you never knew existed. They ensured the world didn't break you before destiny could crown you. And now, after years of restraint, they finally gathered the courage to reveal why your life always felt strangely guided, watched over, preserved. Old conversations, forgotten promises, and unfinished emotional threads are resurfacing, not to haunt you, but to connect the dots. Michael says the sender didn't choose you out of obligation, they chose you because they always knew you carried the strength, the purity, and the heart required to inherit something sacred. They watched life test you, bend you, push you, and still you rose, unbitter, unbroken, unmatched. And that resilience activated the release of what they were holding. As the moment draws closer, the energy around your name becomes louder, brighter, undeniable. People who once overlooked you are suddenly remembering you. People who underestimated you are quietly regretting it. And those who thought this inheritance would never reach you are trembling, because destiny has bypassed every block, every strategy, every silent conspiracy. Michael confirms the universe isn't asking for permission anymore. It's delivering what belongs to you, directly, unapologetically. When you finally hold that letter, the world around you will feel different, not because of what's written inside, but because of who wrote it. Their name will hit you like a revelation, unexpected yet obvious, distant yet deeply intertwined, shocking yet spiritually familiar. And in that instant, you will understand that your story was never random, never accidental, never forgotten. Because destiny, Archangel Michael, and someone who cared more than they ever showed have been preparing this moment for you all along. A heavy silence is forming around your timeline now, not out of fear but anticipation, because Archangel Michael says the universe has paused everything unnecessary so this inheritance can make its entrance without noise, without confusion, without competition. Destiny is holding its breath for you. The envelope has crossed the final threshold, wrapped in protection so powerful that even doubt can't touch it. You may not see movement yet, but spiritually, the delivery has already been stamped, approved, and released. Far away, the sender sits with a quiet ache in their chest, replaying every choice that led them to this moment. Michael reveals they once tried to convince themselves that staying silent was safer, easier, less disruptive, but life refused to let them forget you. Every success reminded them of your absence, every celebration felt incomplete without your name. They realized the inheritance wasn't a gift, it was a responsibility, a promise, a truth that belonged only to you, and denying it was denying destiny itself. Unspoken history is rising from the shadows, hidden documents, private conversations, sealed agreements, like the universe is gathering witnesses to ensure nothing gets rewritten, twisted, or erased. Michael confirms that people who once believed they held power over your story are now panicking, because the truth is no longer theirs to control. The sender is done protecting other people's comfort. They're choosing honesty over reputation, justice over silence, and you over everything that once kept them afraid. Your spirit has already sensed the shift, through sudden clarity, unexpected calmness, or a strange feeling of arrival. Michael says that's because your soul recognizes what your mind hasn't processed yet. This inheritance isn't coming to change your life by accident, it's coming because you earned it through every heartbreak, every setback, every moment you kept going when giving up would have been easier. Destiny doesn't reward convenience, it rewards perseverance, and you have proven yourself countless times. When that letter finally reaches your hands, the world around you will rearrange itself, relationships will reveal their true intentions, opportunities will appear without effort, and the name at the bottom of that page will unlock a truth you never saw coming. Michael wants you prepared, not scared, because the sender isn't returning to take something from you. They're returning to give you what your soul was promised long before this lifetime began, and once you receive it, nothing and no one will ever be able to dim your destiny again. A mysterious calm has settled around your future now, almost like time itself is slowing down to make room for what's about to arrive, because Archangel Michael says the journey of this inheritance is no longer just physical or legal, it's spiritual, karmic, and deeply personal. The universe has aligned every clock, every heartbeat, every coincidence to ensure you receive this truth exactly when your power is at its strongest. Nothing is late. Nothing is random. Everything is synchronized with divine precision. Somewhere, the sender is preparing themselves for the moment you finally know. They've imagined your reaction, the widening eyes, the stunned silence, the disbelief turning into realization. Michael reveals they didn't just send this letter. They poured years of restraint, regret, gratitude, and unspoken emotion into every word. They're not worried about your judgment, they're worried about whether your heart will understand why they waited so long. Their silence was never neglect, it was preparation for a reveal that needed maturity, wisdom, and stability on both sides. Meanwhile, energies around you are rearranging, old connections fading, unexpected faces returning, strange opportunities surfacing without warning. Michael confirms these shifts are not accidents, they're signs that your life is making space for a destiny upgrade. People who once doubted you will soon pretend they always believed. People who once ignored you will suddenly remember your name. And the ones who secretly prayed this inheritance never reached you are already feeling the weight of inevitability, because destiny cannot be negotiated. There is a detail hidden inside that envelope. One so shocking, so emotionally charged, it will silence every remaining question you've ever had about your past. Michael says the sender didn't choose you based on blood, obligation, or convenience. They chose you because they recognized something in you that the world overlooked: integrity, resilience, spirit. They saw the scars life gave you and understood they couldn't let your story end without acknowledgement, restoration, and elevation. This inheritance isn't payment, it's validation. And when you finally open that letter, when your eyes land on the signature at the bottom, your heart will freeze, not out of fear but revelation. Because the sender isn't distant, irrelevant, or disconnected, they are someone whose absence shaped you, whose choices redirected you, whose silence unknowingly pushed you toward strength. The moment you recognize their name, every unanswered question, every delayed blessing, every confusing twist in your life will suddenly make perfect sense. Destiny hasn't just been watching you, it has been waiting for you. A rare stillness surrounds your destiny now, the kind that only appears right before fate unveils something irreversible, because Archangel Michael says the letter has officially entered your energetic field. It's close enough for your intuition to feel it, close enough for your dreams to reference it, close enough for the universe to start rearranging everything you thought you knew. This is the final stretch, the quiet before revelation, the moment where destiny clears its throat before speaking your name out loud. Life is holding its breath for you. The sender isn't sleeping tonight, not because they're unsure, but because they finally understand the magnitude of what they've done. Michael reveals they've carried this truth like a locked vault inside their chest, and releasing it feels like returning a stolen piece of the universe to its rightful place. They know this inheritance will shift not just your circumstances, but your identity, how you see yourself, where you stand in the world, and what you believe you're worthy of. They aren't nervous anymore, they're relieved, liberated, emotionally unburdened for the first time in years. Meanwhile, subtle signs are multiplying around you, unexpected butterflies, sudden flashes of déjà vu, repeated names, familiar initials, strange coincidences forming a pattern you can't ignore. Michael confirms these are energetic confirmations, preparing your spirit for the impact. Even your environment is responding, objects falling, lights flickering, messages appearing at perfect timing, because reality itself is adjusting, expanding, restructuring to match the life you're about to step into. Destiny doesn't whisper when it's this close, it echoes. And what truly shakes the universe is not what's written in the letter, but who wrote it. Michael says this is someone who once carried authority, power, or emotional significance over your journey, someone whose opinion shaped you even when they were absent. Their silence became a scar, their distance became a lesson, and their return now becomes a turning point. They didn't send this out of charity or obligation, they sent it because they finally recognized you as the rightful heir to a story they can no longer hide, deny, or rewrite. When that envelope finally lands in your hands, your entire body will know before your eyes even read it, the sudden warmth, the tingling skin, the trembling breath. And the moment you unfold the paper, see the handwriting, and read the signature at the bottom, your world will split into before and after. Because the sender isn't a stranger, a distant relative, or a forgotten name, it's someone destiny never truly removed from your life. Someone whose return marks the beginning of everything you were born to receive. A powerful current is moving through your timeline now, almost like destiny just flipped a hidden switch, because Archangel Michael says the inheritance has shifted from on the way to imminent. The universe isn't sending hints anymore, it's sending confirmation. Your spirit can feel movement, your intuition keeps tapping you, and the energy around your name is buzzing like a wire carrying too much truth. Something life-changing has already been set in motion, and nothing, not fear, not doubt, not delay, can stop it now. Somewhere behind closed doors, the sender stares at a copy of that letter, fingers tracing every sentence they wrote to you. Michael reveals they read it over and over, not to edit or change it, but to emotionally prepare for the moment you finally know. They've lived with the weight of these words for so long that releasing them feels like surrender. Surrendering control, narrative, pride, and every defense they ever built. For the first time, they're allowing destiny, not fear, to decide what happens next between you. At the same time, your life may feel strangely suspended, like old responsibilities suddenly feel lighter, like familiar worries no longer stick, like your soul is quietly packing for a journey your body hasn't begun yet. Michael confirms this is spiritual preparation. The universe is removing emotional clutter so you can fully receive what's coming. People may fade out, conversations may end abruptly, past attachments may dissolve, not because they're wrong, but because they cannot travel with you into the life this inheritance unlocks. There's a truth hidden inside that envelope, deeper than wealth, property, or legal acknowledgement, a truth the sender never expected to confess. Michael says they once believed they could stay distant forever, watching from the shadows while life shaped you into someone unshakable. But somewhere along the way, they realized destiny didn't want them to be a silent witness, it wanted them to step forward, reveal themselves, and finally honor the connection they spent years pretending didn't exist. This letter is their admission, their bridge, their offering. And when your eyes land on that signature, when recognition hits your heart before your mind can catch up, everything inside you will shift. Because the sender isn't just someone from your story, they are a missing chapter, a withheld truth, a destiny link you were never supposed to lose. Michael insists this moment will not break you, it will crown you. It will confirm that every delay, heartbreak, and unanswered question was leading you here, to the inheritance that proves you were never forgotten, only being prepared. A golden hum surrounds your destiny now, almost like the universe is leaning closer, waiting for your reaction, because Archangel Michael says the inheritance has officially entered your reality, not just spiritually, but physically. The timeline has locked into place. The delivery is irreversible. Somewhere in the world, a mail system, a courier, or a confidential messenger already carries your name with purpose. Life is no longer preparing you, it's delivering. Every step you take now is guided by divine choreography, and you are walking straight toward revelation. Meanwhile, the sender sits in a room filled with echoes of you, pictures, memories, unfinished sentences, moments they wish they handled differently. Michael reveals they didn't just write this letter, they lived every word before putting it on paper. Their heart trembled as they signed their name, knowing that signature would change everything. They're not afraid of losing control anymore. They're afraid of losing the chance to finally tell you the truth. And this letter is their final attempt to rewrite what silence once damaged. At the same time, your energy field is expanding, awakening, activating, because your soul already knows what's coming even if your mind doesn't. Michael confirms you may feel emotional waves, sudden strength, unexplained clarity, or a deep calmness rising like sunrise. These aren't random sensations. They're spiritual adjustments preparing you to receive what humans, ancestors, and destiny have held for you across lifetimes. The universe won't overwhelm you, it will elevate you gently, deliberately, powerfully. There's a detail inside that envelope so stunning, so unexpected, so deeply personal, it carries the potential to shift your entire perception of your journey. Michael says the sender didn't mail you information, they mailed you identity, belonging, truth. They've carried this emotional inheritance like a hidden flame, terrified it would burn them if exposed, but even more terrified it would extinguish if kept in darkness. Now, they are trusting you with what they protected for years, something no one else was ever meant to receive. And when the moment finally arrives, when you hold that envelope, feel its weight, see your name printed with intention, you will understand why destiny made you wait. The life you lived until now was preparation, training, alignment. And the life that begins after opening it will be expansion, bigger, brighter, bolder, truer. Michael insists you aren't just receiving an inheritance, you're reclaiming your divine position in a story that always belonged to you. Your next breath will not be ordinary, it will be historic. My beloved child, the universe just tightened its focus around you, like every beam of fate is pointing toward a single moment. Because Archangel Michael says the inheritance has reached the final checkpoint, the last invisible gateway between secrecy and revelation. Nothing can reroute it now. Not human interference, not karmic resistance, not emotional hesitation. The delivery has been spiritually authorized, and destiny is watching with stunning anticipation, as if your entire life has been leading to this one unfolding truth. A quiet restlessness fills the sender today, not painful, transformative. Michael reveals they feel lighter, freer, almost reborn, because for the first time in years, they no longer carry the weight of what was withheld from you. Their spirit keeps replaying your name like a prayer they never learned how to speak aloud. They're not hoping you accept the inheritance, they're praying you understand the love, the courage, and the internal war it took to finally send it. Their heart is still healing, but it's healing toward you. Your destiny field is widening, expanding, stretching beyond what you once believed possible. Michael confirms that new opportunities, unfamiliar blessings, unexpected faces, and previously closed pathways are already shifting into alignment. You may feel sudden motivation, powerful intuition, or a strange certainty that something massive is coming, because your soul isn't guessing, it's remembering. This inheritance isn't entering your life like a visitor, it's returning like a rightful owner. Your future has been waiting for you to arrive. The truth behind the envelope remains the most electrifying part, because the sender isn't a background figure, a forgotten connection, or a distant life chapter. Michael says they are someone whose absence shaped your silence, whose distance built your resilience, whose choices unknowingly forged your strength. The universe didn't remove them to punish you, it removed them so destiny could prepare both sides for this exact reunion of truth. Their return isn't random. It's divine timing dressed as coincidence. When the envelope finally touches your hands, everything inside you will shift into alignment: mind, memory, intuition, identity. You will realize the world wasn't ignoring you, it was preparing the stage for your entrance. And the moment your eyes land on the signature, recognition will flood you like a tidal wave, revealing why life protected you so fiercely. Michael promises this isn't just the arrival of an inheritance. It's the restoration of your power, your story, your legacy. Nothing will ever be the same again. My beloved child, destiny is no longer walking toward you, it is sprinting, breaking every barrier, silencing every distraction, because Archangel Michael declares the moment of revelation is officially in motion. The inheritance has left confidentiality and entered inevitability. The universe has shifted into delivery mode, aligning time zones, schedules, signatures, and circumstances with microscopic accuracy. Nothing is accidental now. Every breath, every thought, every feeling is part of the countdown to impact. A subtle panic and relief coexist within the sender's heart, like someone standing on a cliff between past and future. Michael reveals they've rehearsed this moment 1,000 times, imagining your face, your silence, your disbelief. Yet reality feels far heavier than imagination ever did. They now understand that withholding the truth didn't protect anyone, it only delayed healing, connection, and destiny. Sending this inheritance wasn't a choice, it became a moral, emotional, and spiritual necessity. They couldn't breathe until they released it. Meanwhile, your energy has begun attracting things that were once unreachable: unexpected messages, surprising opportunities, intuitive nudges, sudden alignment. Michael confirms this is the universe clearing space, removing expired connections, and preparing the throne of your next chapter. People may suddenly act differently around you, not because they know what's coming, but because your vibration has already changed. Your spirit is preparing for elevation, and everyone around you can subconsciously feel it. The secret inside that envelope carries weight: ancestral, emotional, and karmic. Michael says it doesn't just reveal inheritance. It reveals intention, sacrifice, responsibility. The sender didn't write with ink, they wrote with memory, regret, longing, and redemption. They finally chose honesty over comfort, truth over reputation, courage over silence. This letter may not explain everything, but it will unlock everything: your identity, your direction, your power. It is the missing puzzle piece that makes the entire picture finally make sense. And when the envelope arrives, when you hold it, feel its undeniable presence. Time will feel suspended. You will sense that life is about to divide into before and after. Michael wants you to remember one thing in that instant: this inheritance didn't find you by luck or mercy. It found you because you were always the rightful receiver. The world may not know it yet, but after this letter, your story will no longer be whispered, it will be witnessed. My beloved child, the universe just shifted into a deeper level of alignment. Because Archangel Michael says the inheritance has now been acknowledged on both the earthly and spiritual planes. Every unseen force that once stalled, delayed, or blocked this truth has stepped aside. Destiny isn't negotiating anymore, it's enforcing. You've entered the phase where nothing can stop what's coming, not even your own disbelief. The delivery is threaded into your timeline like destiny stitching the final seam of a long-awaited prophecy. The sender sits in quiet reflection, staring at the future with trembling certainty. Michael reveals they've accepted the emotional consequences of this reveal, whatever they may be, because telling the truth has become more important than protecting their own comfort. They aren't seeking forgiveness, applause, or recognition. They're seeking completion, an end to the unfinished story that has haunted them for years. And in their heart, they know only you can close that chapter with grace, understanding, or silence. Your spiritual frequency is rising rapidly, almost like your soul is preparing to step into a larger version of yourself. Michael confirms this internal expansion is not random, it's a response to the inheritance traveling toward you. Your intuition may feel sharper, your dreams more symbolic, your emotions more intense, because your spirit is decoding information before your eyes ever see it. You're not waiting, you're receiving. And that energetic preparation is proof that the universe considers you worthy, capable, and chosen. There is a revelation inside that envelope that will make your entire past snap into alignment: the betrayals, the distance, the unanswered questions, the strange coincidences. Michael says the sender didn't just leave you out of the story, they were waiting until the story had the strength to hold you. They always knew your journey required time, growth, and divine timing. And now, they're returning, not to explain who they were, but to reveal who you truly are. This inheritance isn't an ending, it's an introduction. And when the envelope finally reaches you, when your hand touches destiny disguised as paper, you will feel a spiritual earthquake rumble beneath your life. Not destructive, awakening. Because the name signed at the bottom won't just shock you. It will validate every instinct you ignored, every intuition you doubted, every feeling you buried. Michael promises the moment you read that signature, the story of your life will no longer feel incomplete. It will finally make sense, powerfully, beautifully, unequivocally. My beloved child, destiny has entered a state of acceleration now, as if invisible forces are fast-forwarding everything that once moved slowly. Because Archangel Michael says the inheritance has been cleared through its final earthly approval. No more signatures needed, no more waiting, no more behind-the-scenes processing. The universe has signed off. The physical world has agreed. The spiritual realm has celebrated. The delivery timeline is no longer open, it's locked, secured, guaranteed. Somewhere, the sender sits with a quiet vulnerability they've never allowed themselves to feel before. Michael reveals they're not afraid of your reaction, they're afraid of finally confronting their own emotions. For years, they convinced themselves you didn't need them, didn't want answers, didn't care. But destiny proved otherwise. Your resilience, your growth, your survival shook them awake. Sending this inheritance became their way of honoring the truth life refused to let them outrun. You were always part of their story, even in the silence. The energy around you is shifting in unmistakable ways, conversations feel different, your perspective feels sharper, your path feels clearer. Michael confirms that your soul already knows the next chapter is bigger than anything behind you. Even the air feels charged, like every atom is preparing to witness a transformation. People may begin treating you differently without knowing why, stepping back respectfully, observing cautiously, sensing your elevation before you announce it. Your destiny is already expanding beyond your current reality. What the envelope contains isn't just inheritance, it's revelation, responsibility, and recognition layered together. Michael says the sender didn't choose wealth or property as the message, they chose truth, legacy, and emotional restoration. They're not giving you something new, they're returning something that was always meant to be yours. And that decision required bravery, accountability, and a level of self-awareness they didn't possess until now. This letter marks the moment they finally stop hiding from their connection to you. And when the envelope finally enters your hands, when the weight of paper feels heavier than it should, you will understand why destiny guarded this so fiercely. Your past will soften, your present will expand, and your future will ignite. The sender's name won't just surprise you. It will rearrange every timeline you've ever imagined for yourself. Michael promises that after this moment, you will no longer walk into life wondering whether you were chosen, you will walk knowing you were destined.